Now, the big problem is that most venue owners are actually missing out on this really profitable income stream. What's going on, guys? It's the kid Baruch College, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about how you're gonna be making extra money in your event space with this easy, simple trick, and it's rental furniture. Guys, for those who are new to the channel, my name is Baruch College and did over $3.5 million in 4 years with event space sales. Now we run and operate the #1 event space coaching and consulting company in America that has now helped over 600 clients start and scale their very own event space business. Let's jump straight into it. Now, the big problem is that most venue owners are actually missing out on this really profitable income stream, right? And I get for several reasons why some people might not want to do it, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But the biggest thing is that rental furniture, these are assets that you can source affordably and sell expensively. It's that simple. I've seen venue owners honestly up their prices by 200–300% just by adding rental furniture. The thing about it is that the process is so easy to add operationally that it should be a no-brainer for every single venue owner that's out there. In this video, I'm gonna be going through some real life case studies of people who have used event rental furniture, including mine, to go ahead and actually create an extra income for themselves in their venue and even outside the venue if they so choose. So what are a couple of reasons why rental furniture is overlooked, right? So number one, right, most people, right, most venue owners, they just focus on the space. And the reason behind that I feel is because they feel that there's a lot of operational complexity that might happen along with just having rental furniture, which is understandable. I mean, technically it could be a separate business, but the thing about it is just the same way a ice cream shop can add waffles or add Nutella or whatever the case may be. Every new level has new devils, but at the end of the day, if it makes sense and it adds a lot bonus to your margins, do it, right? Another real big thing is that why rental furniture is overlooked is that people don't want to rent reused furniture, right? Which makes no sense because there's so many items that we use every single day that are reused. I mean, we rent cars, we rent houses, we rent apartments, right? All these things are used prior to us, so like why not be on the other side of the cash register, okay? Another big reason why some people might not want to go ahead and add rental furniture is because they don't want to get involved with decor, which that I totally get. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everything can be outsourced, right? You don't have to be the person doing all the setups. Like I didn't go to my venue 3 months at a time. I had an entire team setting up everything like that. So with that being said, you can do the same thing, right? Rentals aren't just for your events. You can rent these to outside clients too and make even more money on top of that, right? So what furniture can you actually rent out for profit? What do we have, right? We got tables / pedestals. We have backdrops. What else do we have? We have linens, we have arches, we have table decor, right? The list honestly goes on and on. And I mean, this is just like one side of it. I know some people who do like stages. I know some people who do like portable bars, things of that nature. I know some people who do like neon signs, accent walls, just to kind of give you guys a couple ideas. Maybe like certain, like, what are they called? 360 booths, right? Those are a really big one. One of the biggest things that I tell people is like, and this is just kind of like a pro tip, start with 2 to 3 items that are in high surge in your area, right? That might look different for everybody. That might be the tables and pedestals and backdrops. For other people, that might be the linens and the arches. For other people, that might be the stages or the portable bars. For some people, it might be the 360 booths. So always start what I like to do, and this is just kind of like a hack, right? You can go ahead and just start with what people are requesting, right? And then just take a deposit on that and utilize that to pay for the item. So that's just kind of a quick hack for you guys, right? So let's talk about where we're gonna go ahead and source this furniture, okay? Because there's a couple different ways to go ahead and go about it. So number one, you could kind of go off market and go to like Facebook Marketplace. You can go to like OfferUp, Craigslist. Those are a couple other ones too. A big one that a lot of people miss out on is like hotel / like venue, restaurant liquidation. So when people, and these are gonna typically end up on Craigslist, right? So when these different businesses go out of business, you don't understand how many times I've just eaten stuff up off these little liquidation things. So those are really good for bulk furniture, right? You could go to like wholesale suppliers, like restaurant supply, Restaurant supply, excuse me. Like that one's a really, really big one for a lot of items and stuff like that. And that's how you can kind of get like new pieces at a lower cost. Or you can kind of do like do it yourself or hire a builder. So there are people called like prop hire companies. Well, they actually build items like this. And I remember back when I was operating my first company with the event spaces, we had about 2-3 of these builders just like on routine for items like to get fixed, or for items to get fixed, for newer items, things of that nature, right? Definitely don't go crazy on those, but you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, right? A lot of people buy, like when they start making money, they just buy like anything and everything. Like you don't want to do that. You don't want to buy anything and everything. What you want to do is you want to focus on the items that photograph really, really well, the items that are requested, and then take it from there. Like you don't have to buy every single thing. Like I did not buy every single new item that came out, because then you'll never see your profit and you'll always go broke. Like just find the few items that just always go out and just run those up to the moon. So like, how do you price your furniture rentals, right? So let's go to how. So typically what you want to do, it's 3 to 5 times purchase price. Now I can give you kind of like some general like rule of thumb pricing. Like throne chairs will typically go, you know, again, like you definitely want to go 3 to 5 times purchase price. So it's like, if you bought a wall for $1,000, you rent it out for like $200-300. But like thrones, typically on average, you'll see them go for like $75 to $150. A lounge setup will kind of go for like maybe $250 to $500. A neon sign will kind of go for like $50 to $100, maybe $150 for like a custom. A wall backdrop will go for like $200 to $300, and you'll just kind of like take it from there. So if let's kind of look at some back of napkin math real quick. When it comes down to like renting out these different items and stuff like that, if you have a full setup, right? Let's say for example, you have a full setup. So you have a backdrop, throne, dessert table, a neon sign. So we got the backdrop, we got the throne, we got the dessert table, we got the neon sign, right? And let's just take those, all right? So the backdrop probably gonna be $300, throne chairs probably gonna be like $150 unless you get like a sofa or something like that. Dessert table, maybe like $200. Neon sign, let's just say $100. So all that's $300, $450, $650, $750. So you just added $750 on top of your venue price. Say for example, you're charging $1,000 for that night. You just almost doubled your average order value just off adding rental furniture, right? And then and like when people know, and like, here's the thing, right? You always sell more for the setup. Like I don't like doing a la carte. Like you're not gonna get one backdrop from me, one throne chair from me, because I know you're gonna need the whole setup. So that's why you sell packages, right? And if you guys are finding this really, really helpful, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That helps us grow, that helps us know kind of the things that you're into, so we know to go ahead and create more for you guys, all right? So now let's go ahead and go into logistics, okay? So first things first, so there's different levels of storage, right? What I always like to tell people is like, start small and then go bigger. So when it comes down to storage, like I like to use kind of like auxiliary rooms first. So if you have like a spare room or a basement or whatever the case may be, like start with that, right? Then you're gonna kind of move up to like maybe like a garage or a basement, or maybe if you got to go off site, something like a storage unit. Then when it comes down to storage unit, you get really, really big. Then at that point, you want to get either like multiple storage units, or you'll go to like the big boy, which is the warehouse, and you'll take it from there. When it comes down to delivery, now there's stages with this too. So you can this one's not really going to sell that well, but you can offer pickup. Again, this one's not gonna really sell that well. Most people are running around like crazy when it comes down to their event, so they don't wanna have to worry about picking up and then dropping off from you. So I would offer delivery in some capacity. So going down to delivery, you're either gonna have to rent a truck, broker a truck, or buy a truck. So when I say rent a truck, I mean like a U-Haul, or go to Home Depot and rent a van, or whatever the case may be. When it comes to broker a truck, you can just kind of like pay a guy from like Home Depot or something like that, or somebody with a van, like a man with a van situation, and just have them deliver it. Or you can just own your own truck. Now, I always recommend to anybody who's taking this business seriously or has multiple locations, like you definitely want to always like work towards getting your own truck. It's the ease of it is just, you don't got to worry about drop off and gas and damage. Like you just own your own stuff. When it comes down to damage, right? So the way I like to handle damage policy for rentals, specifically for the venue, is that the security deposit covers it, okay? Which is why we sell everything in package, right? So the security deposit should cover everything that gets damaged, or whatever the case may be, right? If you are doing it like off-site, which is a completely different topic, then at that point, you charge for repair, replacement, you could take a security deposit, whatever the case may be. But let's focus on just the venue right now, and with the venue, you should have a security deposit, so you should be okay. So when it comes down to cleaning, I always like to kind of keep like a duffel bag of like, kind of local items, like, heavy-duty wipes, microfiber cloths, things of that nature, just to keep the items nice and tight. Always, of course, budget time. If you're doing with the venue, like having rentals for the venue makes things so much easier because you don't have to worry about pickup and drop off and things of that nature. So honestly, I'm not even going to talk about that. You don't have to worry about installation or retrieval and things of that nature. The only time you have to really worry about installation or retrieval is if you have back-to-back events and one event had items and one event didn't. That's the only real time, but your team should be able to take care of that, all right? Let's talk about a case study real quick, right? So we had a venue owner right here in Atlanta, Georgia. ATL, I'm so ATL, right? New York, baby, you know the vibes. So they invested, let's just say minus about $1,500 in furniture, right? So we could just say that was one backdrop, okay? And one dessert table, okay? So with that being said, they were able to rent one of them even. So remember, again, backdrop probably gonna be $300. Dessert table is probably gonna be like another $200, $250. So that's about $500 on a weekly basis, okay? And honestly, that's per day. So if they rent the same thing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, well now we're up to $1,500 a week. So we can technically recoup our investment in just 1 week. You picking up what I'm putting down? Like that's a paid off investment in 1 week. I don't know too many businesses that can go ahead and offer a paid off investment in 1 week. Here's an interesting topic and an interesting question, right? Like, can you rent to other venues? And here's the thing, right? I don't recommend anybody do that off the bat. I like to create what's called competition. I like to create a moat around my business, right? So what I would do is I'd say, hey, you can't get decor or these rentals anywhere else other than my venue. So what does that do? That makes the person go ahead and book your venue. So I wouldn't even like yes, you can, if you really want to go out there and splurge, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go out there and rent to other venues and make a little bit more money. But me personally, I would rather just create that moat around my business and just have all the people just come to me. And then that way you just create this ecosystem where it's like, you have the best items, you have the best decor, you have the best rentals, and everybody's just coming to you. You feel what I'm saying? How do we market our furniture rentals, right? Because like, obviously having great pieces isn't enough. Like, we gotta let people know. We gotta let people know that they're available. So what I love to do is I love to build a rental catalog, right? And have it on Instagram. I'll just put IG, right? You know what I'm saying? Just take high quality photos, each item, put them in the Instagram. If you want, you can have a website too that just kind of showcases everything so people have all the items right there. And that really, really helps with your packages too, because now it's like, okay, cool. When you want to book a package, you can just see all the items that we have available. Like, these are all the backdrops, these are all the thrones, these are all the this, these are all the that, whatever the case may be. And that's honestly how we were able to scale so easily, because we just had a portfolio, and then just everybody just like went and saw how all the items looked. They saw how they looked in setup, they saw how they looked in portfolio, whatever the case may be, right? So, and then of course you always want to do packages. Always want to do packages, right? That's the easiest way to market it, right? Hey, you're gonna buy all these items for $200, $300, $400 each, whatever the case may be, or just get the package, the full setup for 80% or whatever the case may be, right? Another big way that really, really helps out is to just collaborate with event planners. So collaborate with event planners, because event planners like kind of move the market. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get with the different event planners in your city. You could just go to Instagram, NYC event planner, ATL event planner, whatever the case may be. And what you can go ahead and do is just DM all of them, say, hey, look, listen, I'm a new rental company. I want to create a VIP list. If you get your first 5-10 rentals from me, are 50% off, whatever. Don't make any money off it, right? Because you're gonna make your money off the back end. They're gonna come back to you and they're gonna say, hey, you know, John, he did so well with me. He was on time, he was professional, the items are great. I'm gonna keep working with them. Event planners are always looking for reputable event planning companies, because unfortunately, there's just not a lot of people who take care of their business that way, right? Planners love reliable vendors, so you can definitely become their go-to source, okay? You could also kind of like list on marketplaces. So for example, like what's it called? Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There's a couple other different like small third-party websites, Wedding Wire, The Knot, things of that nature. But honestly, like it's best to build your own audience. Always build your own audience. So I tell everybody, like, do your own Instagram, have your own email list, have your own text list, own your own data. Because one of these websites clap you, you're done, right? And of course, if you are gonna be putting your stuff out there, always watermark your photos, because there's other people who like take photos from other rental companies or whatever the case may be, which, hey, look, listen, it's business, it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just best to kind of like protect yourself, okay? All right, so let's kind of quickly recap, right? So one of the biggest things number one we want to do, every venue owner should have rentals, okay? Every venue owner should have rentals, right? Hey, drop a comment with what rental item you're thinking about adding, right? I mean, there's a lot of really good ones. I know in Event Space Elites, we have a full vendor list of a ton of vendors that are creating items for our clients in Event Space Elites and whatnot. And so all our clients in Event Space Elites have access to that vendor list, so they don't have to worry about getting screwed or scammed or anything like that. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Let's get it, let's go.